A drunk driver paralyzed my daughter, so I made sure he'd never drive again. The Richards kid never learned consequences existed because his father's money erased every single mistake. I've been watching this kid's crap get worse over the years from my repair shop. First it was just property damage, like when he wrecked the Walsh family's mailbox street racing. Old man Walsh got 10 grand in cash and suddenly didn't want to press charges anymore. Then there was that cyclist near the old church who needed surgery on her shoulder after he hit her. The police report said she swerved into traffic for no reason. Every time someone tried to call him out, he'd whine about people being jealous of his money. His dad would make some phone calls and everything would go away. He'd post online about haters trying to bring him down. The night he hit Jenna, he'd been posting from clubs all night. By midnight, he was doing 50 in his McLaren on empty streets. My daughter was cooling down from her run at the crosswalk by her school when he hit her. The impact threw her 20 feet into a concrete pole. When I got there in my pajamas, he wasn't checking if she was breathing. He was on his phone with his lawyer making sure his story was straight. Within an hour, 3 witnesses showed up saying Jenna ran into traffic. The security cameras from every building mysteriously corrupted. His lawyer arrived before the second ambulance, and by morning he was home sleeping while doctors tried to save my daughter's spine. The surgeon's face told me everything when he found me 12 hours later. Jenna's spine was cut clean through between T6 and T7. She'd never walk again, and definitely never run. When she woke up, she tried to move her legs, and I had to watch her realize they wouldn't work. Then it hit her. She'd been running since she was 6 and had dreams of the Olympics. She started sobbing about how running was her whole life, and now it was gone forever. That's when something inside me shifted. Sitting in that hospital room, listening to my daughter cry about her stolen future, while the Richards kid was probably shopping for a replacement car. We tried pressing charges, but his lawyer got everything dismissed within a week. The corrupted footage and paid witnesses meant no evidence. Standing there with all those cars, I knew the cops and courts had failed us again, but I could do what they couldn't. I spent the next month researching while Jenna learned wheelchair transfers. The kid had 50 cars and used 6 shops to hide how often he wrecked them. I created fake credentials and got hired at his main shop. Jenna was angry enough to help track his patterns through social media. We figured out which cars went where, and she researched common failures for each model. Working on our plan gave us both something to focus on, besides our rage. The first week I kept things subtle, but my hands shook with anger every time I touched his cars. His Porsche battery died after exactly 3 days. I'd fixed what looked broken, but made sure the drain came back on schedule. His Ferrari's AC quit only above 80 degrees from a self-sealing coolant leak. He brought it back 3 times, but couldn't reproduce the problem. He started telling people the car was cursed, which made me smile for the first time since the accident. I thought about Jenna in her wheelchair while I worked on his precious toys. Month 2. I went after his ego, and it felt good. The McLaren misfired during acceleration because I contaminated the injectors in a way that cleared at low speeds. His Lamborghini's turbo went crazy after I adjusted the wastegate. He tried racing at a meet, and the car died in front of everyone. He screamed at me about sabotage with spit flying from his mouth, but I stayed calm and said he was driving too hard. His face went purple with rage, but his dad's lawyers couldn't sue over mechanical wear. I went home that night and told Jenna about his tantrum, and we actually laughed together. Month 3. I wanted him to feel the fear Jenna felt that night. I added air to the Bentley's brake lines, so the pedal felt different daily. The Aston Martin steering got loose at highway speeds from loosened bolts. He had 5 close calls in 2 weeks, including almost hitting a school bus full of kids. He started drinking more, and his hands shook when he dropped off his cars. He blamed other drivers, but I could see terror in his eyes during service visits. The same terror my daughter must have felt, seeing his McLaren coming at her. Insurance companies finally connected the dots after 6 claims. They dropped him completely, and nobody else would cover him. He tried selling, but every car failed inspection. Word spread that his collection was hexed. Desperate and drunk, he drove his uninsured Bugatti to meet a cash buyer. The engine seized downtown, and he fled on foot, leaving his $1 million toy blocking traffic. That was a year ago. He still lives in his penthouse with 50 cars he won't go near. Jenna trains past his impounded Bugatti every morning. She waves up at his window in her racing wheelchair. The girl who can't walk anymore moves faster than he ever will.